Quaintance. I'm the producing artistic director here at Virginia Stage Company. It's great to see such a great crowd out here on a Sunday morning still. For our season 22-23 announcement, season 44, we are just so excited to bring back a full season of theater to the world. Here we go, season 44. So we start with a show that we were about to go into rehearsal for when we closed everything down for the pandemic. Tennessee Williams, Cat and Hot 10 Minutes. This is a show we've had to postpone twice. When I called Kenesha Foster, who is director Kenesha Foster, and Sundberg, who is playing Maggie the cat. I don't know if you had a chance to see the workshop that we did online. This is something that we did during the pandemic, is that Kenesha got to work with Anna. One of the things about the fact that this show's been postponed twice is that the depth of work on this show, you don't get to work on a show for 3 years. When we closed down, we were partly constructed in the shop, was Joseph Athranoso's fantastic set. So we're really thrilled. So that was the other show that we were actually was going to go Cat and then Hobbit back in 2020. And this sparkling adaptation by Greg Banks is I saw in Minneapolis, and it is a fantastic new adaptation. We are working with Governor's School for the Arts, and extremely excited to welcome director Billy Bustamante, who last was seen as the choreographer from Untitled. I just cannot think of another person who is more perfect for this show than Billy, particularly working with a group of professionals, working with this cast of folks from GSA. And I'm also I can't wait to see Jenny Schaefer's. These are some renderings from 2020, and we're finally going to be able to see Jenny's fantastic, the Thorin Oakenshield, Keely, Balin, and the dwarves. Bilbo and Gandalf. We're really thrilled to bring this to life after Cat and Hot. Next up, it's December, which means in Hampton Roads, it's Christmas Carol. So Mark Shanahan's Merry Little Christmas Carol. This is the second year with this production. This is a production that was the first show I directed after we shut down for the pandemic. And that stretch, for me, that was the longest stretch I had spent outside of a rehearsal room since I was 18. And getting back into the room with Mark's work, with those fantastic actors, and Beatty Barnes coming back as Ebenezer Scrooge. I talked to Beatty last night, and he was really thrilled to be, of course I'll come back. There's also something that working with this cast and with this design team, which is a dream team. This design team is fantastic. Next up is the comedy suspense masterpiece, The 39 Steps. Wow. Now, Mark Shanahan, who is the adapter on Merry Little Christmas Carol, comes back as a director for 39 Steps. Mark's work was last seen here with Hound of the Baskervilles on this stage. A small cast, clown-based comedy suspense thriller. Right? Mark actually was on Broadway, as this is Mark on Broadway as Richard Handy when 39 Steps was on Broadway. He has since directed this show at the Alley Theater. We had a conversation yesterday talking about this scene in particular and the puppeteers we're going to need backstage for it. Next up is one of the best new plays I've read in a decade, Angry, Raucous, and Shamelessly Gorgeous. How many of you know Pearl Clegg? Remember this name. Pearl Clegg is one of the premier American playwrights, period, but particularly premier Black American playwrights. And she's somebody who, Blues for an Alabama Sky is probably her best known play. This play is something that I think, like Thanksgiving play, which is going to be on Broadway next year, I think this play is going to go to Broadway. I had a conversation with Susan Booth, who directed this at the Alley with Felicia Rashad. And I had heard about the play. I said, hey, I heard about this play. What do you think about this? And here's the text she sent me. It's so good. 4-person comedy about women of a certain age wrestling with visibility. Gift to 4 African-American actresses. It's a bold and funny story that explores ambition, post-feminism, the generational divide, activism, and who has the right to tell our stories. When I told Catherine Hunter-Williams, who is in Every Brilliant Thing right now, last night that we were doing this play, she was like, oh, this is a play she wants to do so badly. I don't think she's going to be available, which is very sad. But it is a spectacular play that I'm thrilled to be presenting before it gets to Broadway. Next up, a continuation of the fantastic partnership we've had with Norfolk State University Theater Company. Some of the most memorable shows that we've had here in the last 5 years, The Wiz, Parchment Hour, The Bluest Eye, Dreamgirls, have been with Norfolk State University Theater Company. So next year, we're going to tackle Shakespeare with Henry V. I am beyond thrilled to finally get to direct with Norfolk State University Theater Company, these fantastic actors. Professor Anthony Stockert and I are going to be sharing the role of chorus over the course of the run of the play. And this is a play, Henry V, that has a really special place in my heart. I first was introduced to Henry V with the Kenneth Branagh film when I was 21 or something. And there was something about watching that film that, and this is going to make me, I guess, sound as shallow as I was at 21, that this story about an English king from 600 years ago, written by a playwright from 400 years ago, and I felt connected to the humanity in this story. The moral wrestling, the romance, the stumbling through, trying to figure out who you are. And it changed me. It made me realize that we're all, across the globe, more alike than we're different. It has some of the most thrilling language in the canon. Now entertain conjecture of a time when creeping murmur and pouring dark fills the wide vessel of the universe. This is one of my favorite plays. And to get to go work with NSU over the course of a semester and then present it here is this is a fitting return, Shakespeare on Well Stage, after a 7-year absence. So we're really excited to present Henry V. Next up, we have a 1-week presentation of a partnership which is No Fear and Blues Long Gone, Nina Simone. This is a fantastic musical. This is an intimate portrayal of the legendary artist Nina Simone that gives the audience's insight into Simone's wide repertoire of music, her life perspective, sense of humor, and sense of duty to people of color. This is written by acclaimed North Carolina playwright and poet Howard Kraft, starring national recording artist Yolanda Raven, and directed by Kathy Hunter-Williams, who is right now in Every Brilliant Thing. So that's it. That's season 44.